Hello friends and welcome back. This is going to be a pickups video just showing you a few things I picked up since my last one. So here we go. This is like the second copy of this one I think I got. Inspired by actual events. Kemper the co-ed killer. I don't remember what happened to my other copy, but I got it again. Seemed like it was kind of hard to get because it's a Lionsgate. So a lot of times those are difficult to get. So anytime I find an older movie and it's hard to find, I'll just go ahead and grab it just to have it. But pretty cool. That's Kemper. Then I got one called Geneshaft, maybe? Genescout? I don't know what that says. Geneshaft, I guess. And you'll see this a lot. This is Shay, I guess. Where I got these from, my buddy's thrift store. He had bought a one of those lockers, and I guess the person named Shay had a lot of their movies in there. So you'll see that it's kind of annoying that somebody would just write, but at least they're wrote on the outside like plastic. So if you can just remove the paper and put it in a different one. And this is episodes, I guess. Episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of whatever this is, some kind of show. This is region 1, If you've seen this at all, please tell me. I don't really know. It's by Bandai, so don't really know that much. But I always grab anime because I got one of my buddies that kind of enjoys it. So I get it for him and trade it to him. So that's Geneshaft, I guess. I guess so. I don't know. And here's what I've never heard of. It's kind of interesting, though. It's called The Late Shift. Letterman, Leno, and the Battle Over Tonight Show. I don't know. This is it just looked interesting. But let's see here. Two heads fighting for the late night crown. One head's got a roll. So I don't know. Seems pretty interesting, but I just like the actors that play them. It looks pretty cool. Like, they look pretty much like Jay Leno and David Letterman. Pretty cool. But this is an HBO Films. I don't really know that much about it. I grabbed that. I mean, it just looked very interesting. It was very cool. I've never even heard of it. But at first, when I first picked it up, I thought that really was David Letterman there. It looks just like him. I mean, that's a pretty good shot. And the guy looks like Jay Leno too, but that Letterman, I picked it up and I was like, that really him? And pretty cool. Now, I was always, now he come on later on, but I was a Conan O'Brien fan, so don't laugh. But I think he was a writer on The Simpsons, if I remember right, the early ones. But Conan O'Brien was always my favorite. Of course, he come on later on than Jay Leno and David Letterman did. They were around a little earlier, but I just thought this movie looked pretty cool. I don't really know that much about it, so if you've seen this, please comment below. I thought that was pretty cool, though. And of course, Shay's back again, and he had to write. This was out of print, so I had to grab it. But of course, he killed it. This thing is going for like, it's maybe $10 online, 15, but pretty fun little movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it. It's been a pretty good while, but I remember it was pretty good. Ray Liotta, no walls, no guards, no escape. There's good old Ernie Hudson there, so pretty cool. But it's in very bad, terrible shape. And then of course Shay like draws on it, then writes on it again with an ink pen and mark. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. I was glad to get it. I wish it was in a little better condition here, but whatever. The disc is in pretty good shape, but like I said, the paper cover is just awful. And of course, it's these snapper cases. Now you can't really fix this thing, It's pretty much messed up, and that's how it'll have to be. But pretty cool. I'm glad to. It's actually on. Oh my gosh, I didn't. Right there in front of the gun, Shay. Up here, Shay in black, in blue, and then if you look right there above Ray Liotta's head, it's Shay. So it's on there 3 times. It's on. I think 3 times is it. And the disc has probably been. I mean, why do this? I mean, I guess the guy put it. There it is again. If this guy's autograph ever, if he ever becomes famous, I'll be a rich man. I'll have enough of his autographs. But I don't know why they do that. I guess they just put it. They had it in one of those storage lockers. So I guess I don't know. Maybe there was more than one person in there, and they just wanted to show which movies were which. I don't know why they done that, but I was glad to pick this up, with or without the great signatures. Moving on to the Blu-rays, and of course there's Shay again. This is Stallone's Cliffhanger, and I believe Cliffhanger was filmed here in Tennessee, where I actually live. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, not where I actually live, but in Tennessee. That's the state I live in, and pretty cool. That's a pretty cool little movie. Not too bad. Just a pretty cool. Like I said, it here's heart thumping and throat tightening. Just a great little action movie, kind of fun, just kind of makes you nervous. I'm not too good with heights, and this one, this one makes me a little nervous, but that's Stallone and Cliffhanger, so I thought that was pretty cool. Then, of course, Shay again with Prom Night. This is the remake or whatever, A Night to Die For. So I figured I'd go ahead and grab this one for a trade or whatever. It's been a little while since I've seen it. I remember I didn't mind it too bad. It wasn't like the greatest movie of all time, but I don't mind watching it maybe once more. But figured I'd grab them. This is the unrated. Of course, it's Sony, so it's A, B, and C. Usually Sony always makes theirs region free, usually. So I didn't mind picking this up for a trade. That's Prom Night. And here's a pretty cool one. This is Spartacus with Kurt Douglas. I always get him. I always say Michael Douglas, but it's actually Kurt Douglas. I always get him mixed up with his son or whatever sometimes, or I get it the other way. I might say, I might think Michael Douglas, and I say Kurt Douglas. I always get them mixed up for some reason. But this is a pretty fun little movie, and this actually come with a voodoo code, so I put that on there. A voodoo code, so I put that on there, and I'll check that out on Voodoo. It's been a little while I've seen this. It's been a very long time ago. Of course, this is a Stanley Kubrick, so it's going to be kind of wild, kind of fun. He always does a pretty good job on his movies. And of course, it's a Universal. I just pretty much just enjoy most Universal, especially the older ones. So, they always had the Universal always had the Universal Monster movies, and so I used to really enjoy those. So I always try to look for Universal titles because they're usually pretty fun. They have a good selection of pretty cool movies. So that's Spartacus. Then I got a 3-pack here with Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, Good, Bad, and the Ugly, and the Magnificent Seven with Mr. Steve McQueen. And, of course, Clint Eastwood here, and Paul Newman and Robert Redford. I haven't seen this one. I don't really know. I've seen this one, of course, and that one. I really enjoy both of those, but I've never seen this one on top. I remember it. I might have, I just don't remember it by name, but it seems like it'd be pretty good. But like I said, I really enjoy Magnificent Seven, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So I'll have to check this top one out, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. And I thought it was pretty cool getting all three of them on this little set from, I think, MGM. So that's pretty cool. I like it when they put the movies together, and I believe they're all three on. I can open it here without messing it up. They should be. Yep. They put them on three separate discs. I like that. That's pretty cool. But pretty neat. They probably had 3 separate cases for these, and they just throwed them together just to sell some more sets of them. So I thought that was pretty cool, though. Good looking little Western 3-pack there. And Shay's back again, the 4th kind, and I got this from a trade from my buddy at his thrift store, so I figured I'd give it a shot. I don't think I've seen this one. If I have, I don't really remember that much about it, but thought it might. I've heard a few people say it's pretty good. I've had mixed results, I guess you could say. Some people say that it was good, and some people say they just really hated it. Hey, this is another good Universal movie, so that's pretty cool. There are 4 kinds of alien encounters. The 4th kind is abduction. So apparently somebody gets abducted in this one is what I'm thinking here. So the 4th kind, so pretty cool. And then Shay's back again. 1, 2, I think I only see 2 signatures on this one. In the Name of the King with Jason Statham. And I remember this thing being good in the Dungeon Siege Tale. I'm sorry. But I remember this thing being kind of good. And then I look it up on IMDb, and they pretty much, it gets like maybe 1 star. Most people said it's garbage. And of course, it's the director. It's I never can. Ula Bowl or whatever his name. I don't know. He directs some pretty crappy movies, but I never can pronounce his name right. But I always thought this was good. I must have. Please comment below if you've seen this and actually like it. I always thought it was kind of good. It's been a very. I watched this when it first came out. I might have just. I don't know. Just wasn't thinking right, but it's probably just silly action. It's probably an actual good movie, but it's just really silly action. So that's why they probably give it like a grade of 1, 2, 3 or something. But I always thought it was kind of. I figured it'd at least be at like a 5 or something. I thought it was an all right kind of just pretty cool movie, but apparently the people on IMDb just didn't care for it that good. So. Like I said, if you've seen this and like it, please comment below. But this is the unrated director's cut from that great director. But I thought I used to really like this one pretty good. And then I got Robert Downey Jr. Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr. What am I saying here? Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. It's alive, Shay. It's alive. Whatever. Goodness gracious. And I hope he does get famous one day. Haven't seen this in a pretty good while. I remember I enjoyed it pretty good. I thought it was a pretty cool movie, but like I said, I don't think I watched this when it first came out, but I remember watching it. Early 2000s is when I watched it. Let's see if I can see. Sometimes it's hard to find. Oh, this was 1994, so I might have watched it, back then, but maybe on VHS. But I remember watching it in the early 2000s, probably on DVD, and I remember I liked it pretty good. But it's been a little while, so like I said, I got it for a trade for my buddy, so I'll just check it out. Like I said, I thought the cover looked pretty cool on this one too. I like the Frankenstein monster's eyes and their person on it. I thought it looked pretty cool. So. Like I said, if you like this one, please comment below. I remember I enjoyed it pretty good, but I couldn't really tell you that much about it because it's been a while since I've seen it. But pretty cool. And I've got one more, and I saved it for last because this is a really good. I can't believe I found this. It's one of those ones that are really hard to find, I guess, like people say, out in the wild. And I picked this up at a pawn shop, and I couldn't believe I found it. It was like $2, so. Just pretty cool. So we'll see what I got next. We'll see. I actually found out in the wild, as they say, Mel Gibson's Apocalypto. I guess is how you pronounce it. And the disc is in very good shape. It's a little roughed up, the case. I actually had to put it in another case. The case was awful. Looked like somebody threw up on it almost, but I checked the paper before I bought it, and it looked good. I kind of pulled it out, and everything looked good on it. I switched cases in it, so I couldn't believe I found this, because this one, my phone gets very dark like that. I don't really know how it. Oh, I see. Okay, cool. I just now figured out something on my phone, so when it gets dark, I know how to fix it. So sorry about that, guys. I can maybe, but I always wondered, if you notice some of my videos, you'll laugh at this, but some of them get kind of dark, like sometimes when the movies get close in, or they're real shiny, and I didn't know how to fix it. I just now learned, but I've actually got a new phone, so my videos are a little bit different, but I'm just now getting used to using it. But back to the movie, and this one goes for pretty good on the internet or whatever. It's usually pretty expensive, so I was glad to find this. I thought it was pretty cool to actually get this one, but for $2 at the pawn shop, and it's, like I said, it's very extremely hard to get. I guess it's just one that I don't know, that they just put out a certain amount of copies, and I guess nobody really enjoyed it. I don't know, because it's a pretty cool movie. I always thought it was good, but I guess they just didn't want to make that many copies of it. But I thought that was pretty cool getting it. It even come with all the little papers in there and everything. So I was definitely glad to get this. I seen this and I about fell out, because, it's just, that's what I like about being a collector. I go to pawn shops, and if I can find these out of print movies that are really, really hard to find, like this one, and get them for like $2, Or they're usually selling these on eBay for $40 at least. Might be even more than that, some of them. I've seen like new copies go for maybe, you know, like $100, which I ain't gonna spend that for a movie. Like I said, if you're wanting to find this one though, and you can't find it, they've actually got a region. Let me think here. I believe it's a region B copy that it's not very much. So if you've got a region free player, I think I might have showed it in a previous video, and you're wanting this movie, you can go to like Amazon UK and get it for pretty cheap. And if you've got a region free or a region B player, and you can get this movie. But if you want to get a region A, it's very expensive. I think there might be a region free. Let me think here. Trying to think of what kind it is. I believe it's a German Blu-ray. Blah, 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 blah. Almost said a German brew, but a German Blu-ray that's actually region free, if I'm thinking right. Just kind of look it up on the old interweb or the internet, and maybe you can find you a copy of it. But I thought that was just pretty cool, finding this for $2 at a pawn shop. Just, you can tell how ecstatic I am. I'm very happy to, like I said, I just love going to pawn shops and finding stuff like this. It's just really cool. It's like finding gold or something, you know. It's just pretty neat. But that's Apocalypto, and that'll be my video. And thank you for watching, and I'm so glad I found this. Until next time, have a good one, and see ya.